about it. Who's your best friend? Yourself. When you are always learning, when you are always trying to know new things, you feel confident and you are not afraid. You have to be ready for anything. Good things, bad things, change, good change, bad change. Everyone worries. But you have to have your plan. When you start to worry, then you start to write everything on the paper and try to get a solution. You have to know what you want, what you really need, and you have to organize all of these. That's my philosophy to being ready.
Welcome back to this season of The Climb, a journey where listening to your heart reveals your true potential. With the Intermountain philosophy, on this show, we're here to teach you how to embrace the limitless nature of growth.
Women are reshaping the world, driven by their dreams. Our mission is to empower you to listen to your heart, pursue those dreams, to create a community where women like you can begin the climb to choose success together.
In a world of comparisons, reconnect with why your work matters through inspiring stories of female entrepreneurs all around the world.
Discover what it means to build your legacy with authenticity and face your inner challenge with confidence.
Join us on this podcast as we explore how to become fearless, unleashing your true potential for you and your business.
If you choose to accept, your adventure awaits.
Ready to climb your inner mountain? The climb starts now. Welcome to the Climb podcast. In today's episode, we sit down with Carmen Wan, a financial planner, former MDRT member with the New York Life, and host of Deep Night classes at Berlin Financial Academy. Carmen's journey from Shanghai to Los Angeles has been one of profound transformation driven by self-awareness and adaptability. We explore how Carmen's career has evolved from her early days in China's internet industry to navigating the challenges of import-export business in the US. She shares powerful insights on the importance of planning, staying ready for change, and overcoming the internal struggles that come with entrepreneurship. Carmen also emphasizes the value of inner dialogue and the need for women to build strong support communities. Tune in to hear how Carmen's journey is shaped by resilience, continual learning, and a mindset that empowers her to thrive through life's transitions. Please enjoy. Welcome to this week's Climb with our special guest, Carmen Wan. We just met recently, actually, through Intermountain, and I'm so excited to learn more about your background and your story. But first, I'd love to hear, how did you get connected and introduced to Intermountain?
Yeah, that's. I'm very fortunate to meet Diana Wong, the founder of Intermountain, and we had a very nice conversation. I got to know what's about Intermountain. I love the concept, and I feel so happy to meet Diana because we used to be in the same industry, in the internet industry in China. So we did have something in common when we first met. I suddenly just got attracted by her and also the Intermountain concept.
Amazing. Yeah, you ladies were pioneers in the internet industry in
Uh,
China too, right? I mean, it is quite
yes,
amazing
I'm
what you
not.
were doing.
Yes.
Well, so especially in the time you were doing this too. This is almost, how long ago was that?
That's long time ago. Oh my God. I
Yeah.
don't want to tell about my age, but
Oh.
it's 20 years ago.
Okay. Well, and exactly. I mean, even today, I'm here in Silicon Valley, right next door, and the
Mm.
tech industry. I mean, I think it's something like less than 2% of women have senior leadership roles in tech, and we're talking 2020, right? Like the 2024. So like, it's interesting how it's not. We still struggle with it, but anyways, I'm so glad that you're part of Intermountain, and we're grateful to have you with us today. So before we dive into your entrepreneurial journey, which I'm excited to learn more about, can you tell us a little bit more about your backstory?
Yeah, of course. I used to work for internet company, which is also a Nasdaq company. It's a really big company. I became the first generation of the internet employee in Shanghai.
Wow.
So I feel I was very lucky. At that time, I was pretty young. I didn't know anything about the internet, but I got a chance to get into this industry, and I got a chance to meet a lot of real pioneers, the founders of all the websites in China. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, at that point, I really start my career.
How did you get involved into this space if you didn't know too much about it?
Well, it's pretty new. It's right before the internet bubble. Can you believe that? and everyone was so excited about the website, the technology, and also our bosses. They got a lot of money for the fund, So just everyone was so excited, and also our company got IPO in 2001 or 2000. I don't remember specifically because that's a long time ago. But everyone was so excited. There's a lot of things new. But suddenly the like internet bubble happened like 2001, right? A lot of small website, they didn't get the more money for the funding,
Mhm.
so they have to close the website. That's really sad. Like hundreds of small website, they have to close down. It really happened at that time. I feel like, oh my God. But I was lucky. I didn't get laid off, but I'm still working for them. So yeah, but everything was new at that time. But after I worked for a while, for 2 years, I feel like it's really excited the industry. And
Yeah.
I always like to learn. So I stay there because I want to learn more things. And these are very advanced, yeah, in China.
That's amazing. And so, after you left the tech industry, you actually, well, there's various steps along the way because you end up in the US where you are in California now. But how did you go from tech to now import export? Was that your next step?
I have to. I have to. I don't have any choice at that time. I don't have any choice because for some, I married to my ex and come to U.S. So as an immigrant, so I have the degree in China, but I didn't go to the school in college in US. So I think because I always want to have my own business, always.
Mhm.
I had a pet shop in China. I had other like a spa, in China. That's all my business. But I gave up all the things in China, so I decided to move to US. I have to start from the beginning. That,
Wow.
that's what I say. I didn't have any choice. But
Yeah.
uh, like every Chinese immigrant, probably the trading business is the easiest thing to start because the like price difference, right?
Mhm.
And also I know the stuff in China, and I also try to get to know the vendors in US. Then I can do the trading business. That's how I started. Yeah.
Wow.
Can you believe it? I really literally drove a forklift.
That's
I
amazing.
did. I did. Because doing trading, you have to have the warehouse, right? At the
Yeah.
very beginning, I don't have that much money to pay other people to drive the forklift and
Yeah.
organize all the pallets. So I did it by myself. Even when
Wow.
I was still pregnant, I did it all by myself. But it was very excited. I got a new skill.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like a lot of entrepreneurial journeys where in the beginning, especially, you're wearing lots of hats, right? You're
Yes.
the operator, the business owner, the, marketing, sales, everything.
That's true. But it's
Yeah.
a good opportunity to learn a lot of things. Also about my language because my English is pretty good when I was still in China. But the college thing is more like a reading and writing. We don't
Mhm.
really have the environment to practice your oral English. But when I was here, I have to call the vendors, use my like very very bad English to try to have the good conversation with them. But the good thing is I was doing some purchasing, so I pay them.
Oh, so
Their
they
sales
wanna
are
talk to you.
free.
Yeah.
Yeah, they wanted to talk to me. They don't care about my language. They don't care about my accent. But it's still a very good opportunity to learn a language. So in a couple years, I've become much better and better. Especially, I went to the big company. I work for New York Life and for Prudential. All these very big company like Fortune 100 and 100, 200 companies. So I get a very good chance to talk to my colleagues to improve my English. So I always feel like I'm always learning, and I'm lucky to always find a good company for me.
That's amazing. Yeah. And actually, that reminds me a little bit. I actually lived in Argentina for 6 years, actually, almost.
I
And
went to Argentina last
oh, no,
Christmas.
oh, no way. Nice. To Buenos
Yeah,
Aires?
yeah,
Yeah.
I love it.
It's beautiful there. Well, I was supposed to go for 3 months and I stayed for 6 years, so definitely
Ah,
really enjoyed it, but when it came to the language, it was one of those things that being in the environment and I was working in, apartment rentals there, and I had to cold call, owners to see if we can use their apartments and stuff. And it forced me to learn Spanish really well. I mean, I was
I
really
am
bad at
just
it, but
watching.
how do you think your early career in China helped with your transition to what you were doing when you came to California?
That's a very good question. I like it because I think, I was in the NASDAQ company for several years, but after that, I was always a business owner. So I always have to have the critical thinking, and open minded and develop a mind. This is very important. And also, I'm a very independent. I have to be because from the very beginning, only yourself, right? Just like you said, you wear a different hat. You have to do this and that. You're a boss, you're also an employee. So so I think um, the experience about doing your own business make me think very completely about everything. And
Mm.
then I feel like myself is unbeatable. You definitely had you made some wrong decision, that's for sure, and you
Mhm.
had a consequence from the wrong decisions, and you try to fix it all the time, and you also try to solve the crisis sometimes. Yeah. And all these things make me feel very strong. I feel like I'm unbeatable. I can do everything. And even I switch the job, if I go into the new environment, I just adjust myself very, very quick. I have to.
Yeah.
So I feel I'm very productive from that kind of experience, and never worry about like losing the job, and never worry about like get a layoff or whatever, because I can always survive. Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. I mean, that's a lot of and confidence is it's not just confidence, it's overall like that you're saying empowering, but that's not easy to come by. So how did you find yourself like what were you thinking during those times when there were crisis, when you had to wear all the hats and all these things going on? Like how did you manage that in a way that empowered you?
When you are always learning, when you are always trying to know new things, you feel confident and
Mhm.
you're not afraid. That's what I always mention. You have to be ready. You have to be ready for anything, good things, bad things, change, good change, bad change. Because when you are learning and then you open your mind and you open your heart for anything, you can just adjust yourself very well. That's very important. A lot of time, because I was a psychologist when I was in China,
Oh.
and yeah, I just talk to a lot of patients. I know what's the trouble comes from. Some troubles come from your mind because you're worried. A lot of people, they worry about something actually never happens in the future, but they just worry, what if it happened? What if that
Mm.
happened? Right? You kind of like a worry for two times. One time is it didn't happen, and the second time is it really happens. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like I can understand. I worry too. I'm not saying like I never worry. Everyone worries, but you have to have your plan. When you start to worry, then you start to like write everything on the paper and try to get a solution.
Mm.
When you have your solution, then you feel I'm fine. When this happens, I already have my solution. Not
Mm.
like one solution, maybe three. The
Mm.
best scenario, the worst scenario, and the very possible scenario. You need to have three different scenarios. I'm a financial planner, so I always give my clients different plans, not only one plan, because everyone's needs is so different, right?
Right.
Everyone has different goal. So you can think a positive, you can think a negative. That's all fine, but you have to have some solutions like to be practiced in the future.
Mm.
So when you have that, when you have something in your hand, you feel much better. You're
Yeah.
not afraid anymore. You don't go panic. You just feel like, oh, I'm ready
You're
for
ready.
this.
You have a philosophy around this. Can you share that?
Yes, I always have that philosophy, and I also implement this philosophy in my life, daily personal life, and work, and for my future retirement. Because just like I told you, my job is financial planner, but not
Mhm.
only financial things need to be planned, everything need to be planned. That's why I say you have to be ready. You always need to plan ahead. But I'm also a very spontaneous person. That sounds a little bit like different, right? Kind
Yeah.
of like a conflict between these two things. But
Hmm.
actually, no. My lifestyle is spontaneous because I think that bring me fun. You know,
Mm.
especially when you live in LA. Sometimes for fun, you don't have to plan a lot. It's just
Okay.
like, oh, I come up with an idea. I want to see this gallery, and I want to go to the other like opening night. I just go. I just go. But for something serious like your retirement, your financial security, and for my son's growing, I always plan ahead. And also for my job, I always plan ahead because there are so many things you need to study, you need to research. Like nowadays, that's information overload, right? You got the information from YouTube, you got the information from Instagram, and you always on your phone, right? And then
Hmm.
you have friends where you have a conversation, they give you different information. Sometimes that's opposite information. So you have to know what you want, what you really need, and you have to organize all of these. That's my philosophy to being ready because all these things you have to organize them, and also you need to know what you want, what's your goal. According this, you can just have your knowledge and have your plan, like practical things ready to do. Like every weekend I just make my plan for next week.
Hmm.
Yeah, I have to, or I will get very frustrated. I will get lost. I feel like this is important, and that thing is also important. Which thing I should do first, right?
Hmm.
When you have your plan for your next week, which thing you want to do first, how's the client want to meet, how you want to meet them on Zoom or in person, like should you like meet them through the dinner or lunch. So all these things you have to plan. So I always want myself to be ready for the next day, for the next week, even next year. Like, I notice like when the new year comes, people come out with different kind of a new plan. But
Yeah.
after 2 months, they kind of like, I'm not gonna
Right.
do that. It's too far. It's too. I didn't do that. I will start from November, like this month. I already start to make plan because you make plan, you prepare for the plan. It's not like I do the plan on the January 1st, then
Right.
I start to do the plan on the second day, January 2nd. It's not like that. It's
Yeah.
already too late.
So what advice do you have then for people who want to have some sort of plan but then actually stick to it? Like does it make the difference starting in November instead? Like what can you do to make sure that you actually stick to your plan?
You need to review your past. You need to learn the lessons from the past and what you want to do this year, but actually you didn't do. What's the reason you didn't do it? What's the
Mm.
reason you give up the plan? Some plans you set at the beginning. That's very important. Maybe there is some reason like a physical problem. There's no way you can change it, or that's totally understand. But if it's because of your fear, right? And you give up in the middle because you think it's not good for you or it's just things change, just there's a lot of different scenario, but you have to figure out by yourself and how to conquer that kind of fear in the next year. Or you kind of like set a goal set a same goal every year but you never accomplish. That
Yeah.
will be a very big problem.
Yeah.
And in that case, just don't make that plan because that gives you the panic, right?
Yeah.
You made the same plan, you never accomplished, then you repeat this every year. Just take
It's-
that plan off of your list. You can also
Yeah.
do that, right? You don't have to
Baby
be
steps
the Olympic
instead.
champion. Yeah. You
Yeah.
don't have to lose like 20 pounds. Try some plans, try some goal you can really do. Maybe you think you want to lose 20 pounds, but actually you didn't lose 2 pounds. Then change the goal to lose like 3 pounds this year.
Mm.
Just make something achievable. You really
Yeah.
can do it. Don't make a big plan you can never accomplish. That's
Yeah.
not good for yourself.
I
Isn't it
can
good?
imagine that causing more stress than anything.
That's true. It's kind of like if I want to lose 10 pounds and in November, I still have 8 pounds to go. Oh my God, And you start to like not eating anything in these
Yeah.
2 months. It's not good for your health, not at all.
No.
Then you can change your plan to lose 1 pound a month. Just lose 1 pound a
Mm,
month. Yeah, that will
I
be
like
great.
that. And this all reminds me a little bit of that phrase, if you don't know where you're going, how are you going to get there? Right. So it's just having that, like, what is your end goal? And then what are the steps to get you there? But if you don't know what that goal is, what you're trying to do, you're never going to get there. Right.
That's true. Split the big goal into the small goal.
Hmm.
That will be easier. And then you will feel, oh, I achieved this goal. Losing 1 pound a month is not too hard. It's not that hard. Just keep that, keep it going.
Yeah. I love that. I've also read that you have this other philosophy around mental messages. Can you explain what that is?
You may talk it to yourself.
Yeah. Basically.
That's the thing I always do. But it sounds weird, but think about it. Who's your best friend? Yourself.
Mm,
A lot of people will tell you, like, I understand you. I really understand you. But actually, they don't. They want to be nice, I understand, but no one can really stand in your shoes because your shoes are totally different size from theirs. You know what
mm,
I mean?
yeah.
That's different. You can have conversation with your friends. You can just throw some trash to them. It's fine. But you are the one really know yourself. And as a good friend, you should talk to yourself. Not like every day, but I always like to talk to myself at the midnight before
Yeah.
sleep. I always ask questions. Where is your fear coming from? This is very important. And why are you sad today? What are you sad about? I remember especially when my parents passed away, they both passed away and I will feel really, really lonely. I feel so sad, so
Mm,
sad. I felt empty, very empty. I feel like I don't have anyone because I'm the immigrant here and I don't have family member in US.
mhm,
But of course I have friends, but they are different, right? They are
yeah.
totally different from my parents. I feel like I was so empty at the nighttime. I don't have anyone to like have the video call with. I usually call them every night but I didn't have that thing. I used to thought that's a kind of like a burden. Every night they just want to see me. I was so busy. I was busy on my work and busy on my kid. We are always busy as a like a mid-aged women that we were always busy. But parents, they only care about you. They are the real person, really, really care about you. And the unconditional. Yeah. But other things, they are conditional. Kids will grow up, they will leave. They are just the passengers. And the
Mm,
friends, even long time friends, they are also busy on their family. They want to try to be nice to you and talk to you, but their focus always on their families. That's very normal. I totally understand. But I kind of regret that I didn't spend more time with them. Then I start to ask myself, why you feel so guilty?
mm,
Why did you regret everything? Because there's no way you can go back. You went to CVS, they have all kinds of medication, but there's no cure for regret,
mm,
right?
yeah.
So you shouldn't do that. You should just go past it, just go over it. You go out. You don't stay in this beautiful penthouse. So I go out, I find something fun to do. I went to gallery. I throw myself in the beautiful arts just by myself. Just by
Mhm,
myself. I don't go to the bar. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't do anything like that. I don't. I never did drug. Never. Even once. I never. And I just feel like I use the music, use the
wow.
art to cure me. When I played my turntable,
Yeah.
very old school thing. Yeah, I play the record, and I start to close my eyes. I start to talk to myself. What do you want? What do you want your future life like? That's very important.
Yeah.
Without them, without my parents, but you still need to move on. What do you really want to for your future? So that's the conversation I have with myself. That
I
helps.
love that. Yeah, I can imagine, and that's something that, when I first met Diane as well, she was talking about talking to your heart, And it's not something I kind of live in my brain always, I think, right? And more on that, like that side of stuff. And then I was so caught up in the hustle, the working, the nonstop everything that I was not well. I was getting migraines. I was burning out, right? All the stuff that I wasn't well. And when I heard this idea of talking to your heart, which sounds similar to what you're saying, it's like really looking within and checking in with yourself, right? And caring for yourself, right? But it's hard to do. It's almost like it needs to be a practice, right? Like it's something
Yeah.
like how meditation's a practice. It's just like talking to yourself. You have to practice doing that regularly because it's not, I don't know if it's intuitive or natural almost, right? I feel like we're sometimes very negative. Our inner dialogue especially is rather negative at times, no?
You can write it down. If you feel it's hard to find the peace in your mind, you can write it down. Now, the good thing is you write it down all the negative thoughts and just cross it. You can feel when you cross it, you feel like you already tried to get rid of it. You know,
Yeah.
that's a kind of like a self-cure things. I also have a hard time when I do meditation because sometimes I doubt myself. Do I have adult ADHD? Because I'm always active. You know, my parents brought me to the doctor when I was little, but doctor says she's fine. Don't worry about her. She's fine. I wasn't like diagnosed as ADHD, but I figured out like it's hard for me to focus sometimes, and yeah, it's hard for me to quiet down because I'm always active. I love the active sports. I feel like I cannot like play the chess. I cannot play the golf, but I like to play the tennis. I like
Nice.
to running around everywhere. You know, but I figure out it's just personality. It's just personality. I don't really think I have ADHD, but when I do some meditation, I know it's hard. So I decide to like not do the traditional meditation. I can still keep my eyes open, but I start to write things. I really love writing. I'm good
Mm,
at like language art, of course, in Chinese. So I love to write. I write every day.
mm.
That's my habit. I write every day. I write what happened in the day. And can I show you something?
Yeah, please.
This is my book about
Oh,
myself.
wow.
Yeah.
No way.
It's from my WeChat moments. If you do, WeChat, you can just write your moments every day, right? It's just like a Chinese Instagram or something. So I wrote WeChat moments every day. So for over 10 years. So I print this out as a book. I had 8 books now of this. I love to write. I think writing is kind of like organizing your mind, and you get a lot of tools, and you can write. And also, that's also a relief, you know, anything you feel, relief of your emotions. Anything you're happy about, you can write it down because you can read it afterwards. You feel happy again, right? It's kind of like a store something in the candy jar, you know.
Mm,
I always feel like the good memory is the different candy, different like a colorful candy, and I put my candy in my candy jar and seal it. And then sometimes I just like, oh, I have nothing to do. I just want to read my book and see the pictures. Oh, that's something happened in my life before. It was so amazing. So I get a candy out of my candy jar, I taste it again. That's what I do, you know. But also something like your sorrow, your pain, you can still write it down. Once you write it down, you think, okay, it's already belonged to the past. You don't have to think about it anymore. When you recover it, you come back and to look at it, it's like, oh, I was so worried about this, but right now it's past. It's nothing. You know, it's
mm.
kind of like a recurring process for yourself. It really worked for me. It really worked for me because I love to write. I always love to write.
That's amazing. So a question that I ask all my guests always, and I'm pretty sure you just answered it actually, is, what is a self-care non-negotiable that you've included into your daily routine? And I'm guessing, is it writing? Do you have anything else alongside that?
I always think the health is the most important thing. So I feel like my eating routine, this is very important to me because health is always the most important. Without health, you cannot do anything. And then also I eat healthy and I also go to the gym every day, like lifting weights and jogging. Just keep yourself very healthy and also keep yourself strong like mentally, physically. That's non-negotiable. I have to do it
Mm.
every day, or I don't want to be lazy. I
Yeah.
just like to have myself pull myself together every day. You know, just like I said, I need to be prepared for your work, in your life every day.
So transitioning a little bit, I'd love to hear how community has played a role in both, your professional and personal life as you've been building your businesses and living in different countries and different industries you've been working in. How has community supported you?
Of course, because I am an immigrant, right? I usually just hang out with like Asian people together. We have a lot of things in common about the culture, right? Just like gather together and support each other. You don't want to feel lonely and you don't want to make your friends feel lonely. So we usually would just get together, talk about our life, how to adjust yourself in the community. And also that's a mixed culture thing, especially in LA, right? You see a lot of diversity and you feel yourself in the diversity and you learn from different cultures. And that's a very good opportunity as an immigrant. You have a big window to everything, right? I didn't have that kind of opportunity when I was in China because everything is the same and the same people and the same culture you already know. But when you immigrant to LA to US, that's totally different. You have so many opportunity to get to know new things and you will feel very excited and then you got a different support from the community to involve in the different cultures. That's very important. And I feel very comfortable. I fit in right away, to be honest. I
Awesome.
never struggled on that kind of thing. Maybe other
Mhm.
things, but not this. Yeah.
Yeah, community is so important, especially when you move abroad and you're sort of forced to meet people and you develop relationships with them quicker too, I think, because you have that commonality of being in a different place and meeting new people. It's quite interesting. I had the same experience in Argentina as well.
Yeah, everything
Yeah.
well, is so nice actually. I feel like I always believe if you smile to people, they smile to you. That
Yeah.
happened to the kids. I feel like every time I walking down the street, the kids always smile at me. I always go, well, am I so lovable? Then I realized because I smile to them first, you know?
Yeah.
It's just like I didn't realize that. When I see the kids, I start to smile and they start to smile back. It's just so natural. That's also happened to your behavior, right? If
Mhm.
you be nice to people, to be kind to people, they are kind to you. Just like they are the mirror, right?
Mhm. Yeah, I love that, and we talk about that so much with Intermountain of this idea of your frequency, right? Like, what vibe are you putting out there that we're attracting the same type of people as well?
Mhm.
It's contagious, right? That sort of energy, what you put out is what you get as well, and it really is contagious, and so, as we've been talking this whole time too, we've both been smiling, and it can't help but smile it back, and it's wonderful when that works that way.
Definitely. That's why I feel like I really want me and my friends that we want to create similar to In a Mountain, like a women's organization. We can support each other. We can solve the problem together. And together we feel very strong. That's just like nowadays we talk about women help women and girls help girls, right? Because we really can understand each other and support each other from a different angles, but that's something we are doing right now locally, and we also do that online. That's so good, I feel so
Mhm.
happy about that.
Oh, it's the same. I mean, it's amazing. We recently did a Zoom virtual meetup with our California, actually, I guess it was global because we had people all across the US. We had somebody, I think in India, and then we also had in China as well. And all of us were like
Yeah, I
sitting next
was
to
there.
each
I
other.
was on that Zoom
You on
meeting.
it? Oh, okay, awesome.
I
Amazing. Yeah.
love
So
it.
we had like it was like back and forth, the energy, like we could all feel the excitement and the support that was there,
Mm,
and that's something that we're seeing more of this idea of collaboration and community over competition, right? We
sure.
really want to be here to support one another, and it makes a huge difference when we have that, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Sharing the experience and something you learned from your life. This is very important because I think a lot of people have the similar situation, so we can exchange the information, experience. That will help
Yeah,
a lot.
exactly. Yeah. Well, Carmen, this has been so wonderful to get to know you. I'm grateful we were able to meet today, the day after Thanksgiving. So I appreciate
Uh,
you.
Thank you for having me. I'm so glad to meet you here and share my experience. That's very nice. I love in the mountain. I love that experience with in the mountain. Yeah,
Amazing. Well, I'll be seeing you again on the next Zoom call, I'm sure. In the
definitely.
meantime, if any of our listeners would be interested in getting in contact with you, what is the best way to connect?
They can shoot me an email. Yeah, that's the most convenient way to contact me. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Well, again, thank you so much for joining us today, Carmen, and I hope you have a great rest of your holiday break here.
Thank you, Natasha. Happy holiday.
Happy holidays. Bye.
All right, bye.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of The Climb. Not ready for your journey to end? Make sure to join our online community and subscribe to our YouTube channel to discover your true spirit, strength, and potential today. Details in the show notes below. Need a guide for your journey? Check out our founder, Diane Wong's new book, The Inner Mountain.
Until next time, remember, you are an experiment. Focus on your own path and continue to climb your inner mountain. Thank you.